love don't always fade clean. Sometimes it claws its way back. These aren't your usual heartbreaks. These are the stories you whisper about long after the restraining orders, the blocked numbers, and the broken windows. Three ex-girlfriends, three true stories, each one more twisted than the last. This is Whispers Between Worlds, uploading horror every single night.
Story 1. The Storage Unit. Narrator. Sometimes love doesn't end with a breakup. Sometimes it lingers and follows and builds a shrine. Jason met Lana in the spring of 2018. They locked eyes at a local concert, both sipping watered-down whiskey in plastic cups. She was magnetic freckles dusted across her cheeks, a mischievous smile that hinted at danger. Jason liked that too much. The first few weeks were perfect. Spontaneous road trips, late-night takeout on rooftops, long conversations that bled into sunrise. But even perfection has shadows. Lana had a jealous streak one that stretched farther than Jason ever imagined. She once accused him of flirting with a waitress because he said thank you too politely. Another time, she smashed his Bluetooth speaker because it auto-connected to a friend's phone. He thought it was passion, but when she threw his phone against the wall for receiving a hey from a female coworker, Jason saw the truth. He ended things the next day, packed a duffel bag, blocked her number, and moved into a studio apartment 2 towns away. He thought it was over. 1 week later, a small Amazon package arrived at his door. He opened it, confused. Inside, a red scarf. No receipt. No note. No sender. 3 days later, another box arrived. Perfume. The same kind Lana used to wear. Then came the envelope. No stamp. No postmark. Just a single lock of dark brown hair. Jason felt his stomach drop. He contacted Amazon support. They had no record of the orders. No charges on his card. They didn't even exist in his order history. Things escalated quickly after that. One night, Jason came home and found his door unlocked. Nothing was missing, except the photo of him and his mom that had been on his fridge. Gone. He had the locks changed, installed cameras, filed a police report. Still, the packages kept coming. One afternoon, his landlord called, furious. "Why'd you submit a request to cancel your lease?" Jason hadn't, but the email had come from his personal account. When he checked his sent folder, it was there word for word. He never wrote it. Jason decided it was time to move. Again, he found a gated apartment complex an hour away. New lease. New start. But the very first night, his key fob didn't work. The security guard told him his name wasn't on the system. Jason had only signed the lease 48 hours earlier. The final straw came in the form of a Craigslist message. His college buddy sent him a screenshot with the message. "Is this you?" It was a link, titled Stolen Memories. It led to a listing filled with photos. Jason sleeping. Jason brushing his teeth. Jason walking shirtless across his apartment. Some of them were recent. Some were years old before he'd even met Lana. Jason had enough. He hired a private investigator named Martinez, a retired cop with a permanent frown. 3 days later, Martinez called him. "You need to see something." They met outside a storage unit facility on the edge of town. Martinez handed him a key and walked him to Unit 237. Jason stepped inside and froze. The unit had been turned into a perfect replica of his old bedroom. Same bedspread, same dresser. Even the same framed concert ticket stub from the night he met Lana. On the bed sat a mannequin, propped up with pillows. It wore his old hoodie, his cologne, and a paper mask of his own face. The investigator called the police. They ran the rental record's fake name, fake number. But surveillance showed Lana visiting the unit every 3 days like clockwork. She was arrested the following week. During questioning, she refused to speak. Not a single word. She was placed on psychiatric hold, released after 28 days. Deemed not a threat. Jason fled the state. He changed his name, got a new job, even grew a beard. No social media, no ties. Peace for a while. Then, 3 months ago, a package showed up at his office, no return address. Inside, a crumpled photo of him standing in his new apartment, looking directly at the camera. On the back, a note in red ink. I never left, just waited.
Some people move on after love. Others build it a home and wait for you to come back.
Story 2. The Spare Key. Narrator. You ever hand someone a spare key? You trust they'll never use it after it's over. But some people, they just wait for the right night. Chris had been with Maya for 2 years. She was smart, quick-witted, and the kind of beautiful that made his mom nervous. Their relationship was built on fire good and bad. They'd break up and get back together more times than he could count. But in August 2022, after a final screaming match about a text Maya swore was just from her cousin, Chris walked away. Clean break. Locked numbers. New locks on the apartment. Except he forgot about one thing. The spare key he had given her over a year earlier. The one hidden under the flower pot. At first, everything felt normal. Peaceful. Chris caught up on sleep. Got back to the gym. He even started dating again quietly. Then, small things started shifting. A half-drunk glass of orange juice in the sink when he hadn't bought juice in weeks. The TV remote moved from the coffee table to the couch. While he was out, one night he came home and found a towel still damp hanging in the bathroom. He lived alone. He told himself he was losing it. Until the mirror fog message. He had taken a hot shower after a long run. When he wiped the steam from the mirror, 6 words had been drawn through the condensation. I like her shampoo better. Chris stood frozen, dripping, staring at the message. He raced into his bedroom, grabbed his phone, but there was no one there. Front door locked. Window screens intact. He changed the locks the next day. That Friday, he invited a new girl over, Tanya. They watched a movie, ordered takeout, had a few drinks. Everything was going fine until Tanya went to the bathroom. She came back pale. You didn't tell me your ex lived here. Chris blinked. She doesn't. Tanya held up her phone. There was a message on the screen from an unknown number. His bed still smells like me. Followed by a photo of Chris and Tanya on the couch taken from the hallway. Tanya left without another word. Chris was panicked. He checked every inch of his place. No bugs, no cameras, nothing until he climbed into the attic. There, in the corner, a sleeping bag, a pillow, a set of empty takeout containers, and next to them, A notebook, dozens of pages, all entries, all about him, what time he left for work, who came over, what he watched on Netflix, what underwear he wore. The final page said, I like watching him sleep, so peaceful, so forgetful. Underneath was a crude sketch. Chris asleep in bed, a woman drawn at the foot of the mattress, watching. He called the police, filed a report. They couldn't prove anything. There was no forced entry, no proof the key had been used, no fingerprints, no cameras, just a feeling of being watched that wouldn't leave. Chris moved. Again, this time to a condo with security. No more spare keys, no more hiding places. But a week after settling in, he got a letter in the mail, no return address. Inside, a single house key, taped to a sticky note that read, in case you ever change your mind.
Some people move out, others never really leave. They just wait for the door to unlock again.
Story 3. She followed the voices. Narrator. Some breakups end in silence. Others keep talking long after they're supposed to be over. Devin met Sierra in a philosophy class during his sophomore year of college. She was into crystals, poetry, and strange books about lucid dreaming and spiritual attachments. He liked how different she was, deep, mysterious, intense. But he didn't realize how deep that intensity ran until it was too late. They were together for a little over a year. When things were good, they were incredible. But when things got dark, they got paranormal. She once told Devin that she could hear what people dream about if she focused hard enough. She'd wake him up at 3 a.m. tell him what he had been dreaming. She was almost always right. After they broke up after a final argument where Sierra screamed that you don't unlove someone, Devin tried to go no contact. He'd blocked her everywhere, changed his number, even moved off campus to avoid her. But then the whispering started. At first it was subtle, a strange, almost inaudible voice humming in the vents. He figured it was the old building creaking or the neighbors. Then it started happening when he was asleep. He'd wake up, paralyzed, hearing Sierra's voice saying his name, but not from a phone or memory. From the walls, he'd flick on the light. Silence. It got worse. One night he came home to find red string pinned to his ceiling, each strand connected to random objects. His wallet, his pillow, the toothbrush in his cup. On his mirror, written in black lipstick, still connected. He called his landlord, filed a police report, but there were no signs of forced entry. Then his Alexa started answering to a different name. He'd say, "Alexa, turn off the lights," and the voice would respond, "This isn't Alexa anymore, Devin." Devin smashed the speaker, unplugged everything, started sleeping at his friend Nate's house. One night, while crashing on Nate's couch, Nate woke him up. "Bro," he said, pale, "your ex was outside. She was just standing there, right by my car." They ran to the window. Nobody there. On Nate's windshield, a dream catcher, handmade, with Devin's name woven into the threads. Devin lost it. He called Sierra from a payphone, demanded she stop whatever she was doing. She just laughed. "I haven't seen you in weeks," she said, "but I still hear you every night." She hung up. Devin started seeing a therapist. tried to reason it all away, stress, guilt, maybe trauma from the breakup. Then he started sleepwalking, naked feet covered in dirt, clothes soaked with dew. He'd wake up on the couch, but the front door would be unlocked. One night he woke up outside, middle of the woods, miles from his apartment. No shoes, just a note in his pocket. You called me here. He stopped sleeping altogether until one night his body finally gave out. He collapsed on his bed around 2 a.m. At 3:13 he opened his eyes to Sierra sitting on his chest. Her eyes weren't normal, they were all black. Her voice wasn't her own, it was deeper. Male or not human at all. I followed the voices you left behind, it said, and now I live where your silence begins. He screamed, woke up sweating, heart racing, but on his chest, a single fingerprint, black, burned into his skin. He moved out the next day, got rid of everything she ever touched, threw out the mattress, the pillows, the phone. But he still hears her sometimes, in the vents, in the wind, in the static of dead air.
Love can be beautiful, but sometimes what follows it is anything but, whether it's a stolen key, a haunted voice, or a shrine in a storage unit. Some exes don't let go. They watch, they wait, and they remember you better than you remember them. If you're still holding on to a spare key, might be time to let it go. This is Whispers Between Worlds. We upload chilling stories daily, true tales that make your skin crawl and your doors lock tighter. Until next time, sleep with the lights on.